what we saw on Saturday. Right now, we're starting to see some showers and storms really pick up, especially for locations south of I-10. This is more of a typical summertime pattern. You can see right now a lot of activity in far southeast Liberty County, but also if we take a closer look, you can see these showers starting to push on shore from Brazoria County up into Fort Bend. For now, just seeing rain showers, but as we go through the heating of the day, these are going to intensify. Not only are they going to get stronger, thunderstorms and heavy downpours are certainly going to be possible, but they're also going to become widespread. So right now, most of our activity isolated further south. As we go through the next few hours, we can expect these rain chances to really begin to ramp up. Now, that's going to be especially true for areas to the east of I-45 and south of I-10. You'll notice by 3 o'clock, not a total washout, but some locations are going to be dealing with some heavy thunderstorms that can quickly drop several inches of rain. The primary concern there is going to be the threat for street flooding. That means you'll need to plan for extra time for that afternoon pickup, but also for that evening commute. 4 p.m. you can see those thunderstorms continuing across the Houston area through 6 p.m. Still going to be dealing with those showers and storms. Things should start to settle down once we get to sunset, but between now and 7 p.m. we're going to be seeing the potential for some wet roads out there. In fact, let's go over to meteorologist Tropical. We're talking an intense amount of rainfall coming down over a short period of time. Look at this. Just in the last 10 minutes since we last showed you this radar, you can see things starting to intensify a little bit. As we go through the next few hours, these showers are going to become more intense and more widespread. In fact, we're already starting to see a little bit of lightning activity in that cell that's pushing in just north of West Columbia, moving into far southern Fort Bend County. We are expecting a lot of these showers to begin to produce lightning, so you can expect to see that thunderstorm threat in addition to heavy downpours. So far, Angleton seeing a few showers, Wharton County starting to see this activity pick up. We're expecting this to start south of I-10 and then push its way northward. As it does, it is going to become slightly more intense. You can also see out there in Liberty County and far northern Chambers County as well, starting to see some of those downpours just to the southeast of Liberty there. We're going to see these become much more widespread, which means for the afternoon pickup, certainly plan on extra time as you're out and about. You'll notice our future track as we approach the next few hours starting to show activity slightly more widespread. Now, some of these thunderstorms are going to be packing a punch. Frequent lightning strikes, intense downpours certainly going to be possible through the heat of the day. This is 4 o'clock, showing the possibility of some intense storms. And similar to what we saw on Saturday, if you see a thunderstorm, it's not out of the question because of how much moisture we have that we could quickly see 2 to 3 inches. That's what could lead to the street flooding. Now, sunset tonight just after 7:30, and once we reach 7:30, that's when we're expecting all these storms to quickly fizzle out. And from there, we're expecting to be dry through the rest of the night. So for the rest of our Earth Day, you can tonight, and then a totally different picture as we look ahead to the next few days. Thursday, only a 20% chance of an isolated sprinkle. By Friday and Saturday, we'll start to see those temperatures pick up, humidity increasing. It's going to start to feel a lot like summer. Also dealing with quite a bit of activity off to the west. So I'm going to start with our western storms, work our way off towards the east. You can see right now we're seeing thunderstorms just on the south side of Columbus and also pushing into Belleville. This is coming with a heavy downpour and frequent lightning strikes. Now, thankfully, these showers and storms have been moving quite a bit, but we did see one thunderstorm. In fact, it's this one right here, just north of Bay City. This has hardly moved over the last hour, and because of that, we've seen radar estimated over 2 inches of rainfall come down. That's going to be the threat with any of these thunderstorms. Up into Fort Bend County, Rosenberg seeing a hefty storm push through. If this holds together, that's going to reach Mission Bend and Sugar Land within the next hour. You can see on the east side of town, this is where We have a heavy thunderstorm from Pasadena up through Jacinto City and Galena Park. This storm thankfully is moving, but I'll tell you what, when it passes overhead, those heavy downpours are going to be bringing with it intense driving conditions in addition to frequent lightning strikes. So for now, we've got scattered thunderstorms. As we go through the next few hours, we're going to see these become slightly more widespread. Your timeline is going to be from now through 7 p.m. that you can see these heavy downpours across southeast Texas. By 7 o'clock, rain chances go down, and then we're going to enter a much more typical summertime pattern. But Andy, I've got more on our full forecast coming up. To 2 inches, but you can see very much hit or miss. Some spots, like just northern Chambers County, 2 inches. So if you do see a thunderstorm, we can see flooding, but otherwise you might not see anything. In fact, satellite and radar is going to show you on our Storm Tracker 2 radar here. We've got those thunderstorms all across southeast Texas. You'll notice thunderstorms east of town, also from Katy down through Sugar Land. This is where, if we put the radar in motion over the last hour, you'll notice those thunderstorms really continuing to blossom. Right now, we still have that thunderstorm finally starting to dissipate north of Bay City. This is the one that's dropped over 3 inches of rain. Up into Wharton County, we've got heavy downpours stretching into Fort Bend, Rosenberg, areas just south of Katy. In fact, I think I-10 between Katy and Sealy about to see some really intense downpours. So far, nothing has produced any flooding, but it certainly is going to be possible, especially as it pushes into more urban areas. I do want to show you Columbus currently seeing a heavy downpour here. That is working its way to the north and the east and up towards Belleville. Also seeing some of that rainfall. Now, this is still much needed. We are considered in a drought, but the more rainfall we get, the better things are going to look as we head into summertime. You'll notice here around the Houston area, we do have a pretty large thunderstorm. Thankfully, this is continuing to move, which lowers our rainfall accumulations. But Channelview starting to see some of those heavy downpours, frequent lightning strikes near Jacinto City. If this continues pushing through, which it likely will, this is going to clip the southern half of Lake Houston. Over towards Liberty County and Chambers County, you can see some of those thunderstorms not moving quite as well in Chambers County. That's why we're seeing those accumulations really start to rack up. So as we go through the next several hours, we're going to continue to see those pop-up showers and thunderstorms, especially as we do that afternoon pickup and the evening commute. You'll notice by 7 o'clock, things will start to simmer down. These are really going to be there during the peak heating of the day. We'll start to dry out, and then things are going to be dry through the overnight hours next few days. We are keeping an isolated chance for a brief downpour through the next few days, but for most of us, it's just going to be a summertime pattern. Temperatures steadily warming up, 86 by Friday, 88 by Saturday. We're going to see that humidity starting to climb and scattered rain chances. Only about a 10% chance. And that's beneficial rain. The problem is we don't need too much all at once. And that's what's starting to happen for some locations south and west of Houston, especially these storms in far southwest Fort Bend County. You can see around Needville over the last hour, it has hardly moved, which is why radar estimates putting anywhere between 2 to 3 inches not out of the question. This is producing frequent lightning strikes. And where you see that deep purple and red, that is an intense, heavy downpour. These showers continuing to drift very slowly to the north and east. You'll notice out by Katy also seeing that storm from Fulshire up over towards Brookshire and Katy. This cell not moving very fast, which means we're likely going to be dealing with some high water out there that could be impacting the Katy Freeway, not just from Katy to Brookshire, but also between Sealy and Columbus. Heavy downpours along I-10. And take a look, 290 just outside of Brenham. This is a strong cell there just across that Washington County line, producing frequent lightning strikes and intense downpours. All of these thunderstorms really going to be slowing down traffic for that afternoon and evening commute. For the actual Houston Metro inside the Beltway, only a few light showers on the north and east side of town. Otherwise, look at these showers and storms northeast of Lake Houston. These are going to become more prominent as we go over the the next 2 hours, but drying out for the overnight period. Lisa, Joel, I've got much more in our full forecast coming up.
We will check back. Carol.
If they stop moving, you can quickly get several inches of rain, which is why we've been talking about the possibility of flooding. Storm Tracker 2, if we put this in motion over the last hour, you can see a lot of that activity to the southwest of Houston, and it really hasn't been moving a tremendous amount. In fact, this is a 1 hour radar loop, and you can see there are certain locations that have continued to see that steady rainfall, especially far southern Fort Bend County. You can see Needville down towards 288. This area certainly is on the soggy side, saturated soils for sure. Katy starting to see a thunderstorm stall out between Brookshire and Fulshire. This is going to be producing the possibility of some street flooding in several of these spots. We've already seen over 2 inches of rain. Look at this thunderstorm just stalling out over I-10 between Columbus and Sealy. Frequent lightning strikes, that deep purple color indicating a really intense downpour. Even seeing a nice thunderstorm pushing north of 290 there in far northeast Washington County. Continuing across Harris County, you'll notice inside the Beltway mostly dry, but we are seeing quite a bit of thunderstorm activity just to the north and east of Lake Houston there. So as we go through the next few hours, we're going to continue to see more of this thunderstorm activity. This is going to be with us only for about the next 3 hours. Once we lose that daytime heating around sunset, 7:30, that's when you're finally going to see all of the showers dissipate, and then we're in for a quiet night ahead. In fact, it's not just a quiet night ahead, it's going to be quiet over the next few days. In fact, we are forecasting our first 90-degree day of the entire year, likely to come for many of us this weekend. You'll know that from now until then, it is going to be a bit messy, especially in spots that are already starting to see some high water concerns. You'll notice most of our activity is going to be concentrated southwest of Houston, especially this cell in far southern Fort Bend County and northern portions of Brazoria County here. Needville has been seeing heavy downpours for quite some time. Those warm colors indicating with it the potential for rainfall rates 2 to 3 inches per hour. That is a tremendous amount of rain, and that's why we're going to be watching for ponding on the roads. You can also see those showers building behind it as well. That's going to be just to the south of Columbus. And look at I-10. Thankfully, that shower from Fulshire to Brookshire, that's starting to dissipate, but we certainly are still seeing some heavy downpours along I-10 between Sealy and Columbus all the way down towards Eagle Lake. This is packing quite the punch. You'll notice Washington County just to the east of Lake Somerville dealing with some of those thunderstorms. These have been working their way to the north, so because they're moving, flooding potential is lower. I'll tell you what, I know a lot of those ranchers out in Washington County very excited to see the rainfall. You can see we've got showers and thunderstorms also to the north and east of Houston. From Cleveland down through Roman Forest, portions of the East Tex Freeway are going to be very delayed for this afternoon commute, so certainly plan on extra time. We are likely going to be dealing with these thunderstorms over the next few hours before we finally catch a break. Future Track is going to show from now through 6 p.m. more thunderstorms can start to pop up, which means even if you're dry now, doesn't mean you're going to be dry by the time you're heading out the door, unless you're not leaving until 8 p.m. Once we get to 8, everything's going to start to quiet out, and we're going to be staying dry through the overnight hours. Lisa, Joel, I've got much more on our extended forecast coming up.
All right, Caroline, thank you.
Still well to the southwest of Houston. This is where we have been tracking quite a bit of activity. I'm going to put this in motion over the last hour, and this is important because a lot of these storms, they've hardly moved, especially this cell just to the south of Rosenberg. When you've got showers sitting over the same spot, that's when we start to worry about flood issues. This is where radar estimates 2 to 3 inches of rain around Needville. This is going to be the region, if we do see a flood advisory, that's where it would be issued. But we're also continuing to watch some of these thunderstorms just to the south and east of Columbus. Look at Eagle Lake, that deep red and purple color. That's going to be an intense heavy downpour. Not only is it heavy rainfall, but we're also seeing really intense, frequent lightning strikes here as well. So these storms, certainly you're going to hear them well before they reach you. You can see in northern Washington County, just to the east of Lake Somerville there, showers drifting to the north. These likely are going to be making it out towards College Station and closer to home here in Houston. That's thunderstorm near Katy starting to dissipate. Now just some light rain showers, but we're continuing to track some of those thunderstorms just north of Lake Houston, Kingwood to Roman Forest. These thunderstorms impacting the East Tex Freeway here. And we're going to continue to see these showers and storms over the next several hours. You can see on our future track, thunderstorms are going to be possible through about 7 o'clock. And then everything starts to fizzle out. Only some light showers by 8, by 9 o'clock, totally quiet. And we're going to be staying quiet over the Friday, 86 degrees by Saturday, 88 to near 90 degrees. It is likely that this weekend is going to be the hottest weekend we've seen of the entire year. In fact, we're forecasting our first 90-degree day